Hello. This is the Young Family Tai Chi Section 1 class. And today we are going to start right order. So first we'll do our salute and then we'll begin class. So, 同学们好. And your response is 老师好.
老师好.
Okay. So I'd like to begin with standing practice. And we'll just do this for the 3 reasons you do standing practice. 1 is it improves your posture. 2, it helps your breathing. And 3, it calms your mind. So I want you to start with your feet shoulders width apart. I want them parallel. So your feet should be facing straight forward. You should have your weight on the bubbling well of each foot. And what that means is that your whole foot is weighted. It's not just the toes, just the heels, or just the left or right. It's the whole foot. Then I'd like you to think about raising your head and think about hanging from something, pulling your head up. And I want you to have an expansive gaze. Look out into your horizon. And don't focus on anything in particular, but basically take everything in. Then raise your arms. You're going to be doing a hugging the tree. And your shoulders are down. Your elbows are drooping. I want you to feel an expanded feeling. You're going to have a fist width between your fingers. And the expanded feeling is going to give you the sense that you have energy from the tips of one of your hands all the way around your back and out the fingers of the other hand. And your chest is slightly sunken so that you have this rounded shape. Then I want you to relax your waist. So I want your hips to come down. Feel like you're about to sit on a high stool. And your lower spine should feel extended and your tailbone should point down. So look at your knees, make sure that they are in the same direction as your toes. Okay? And then I want you to breathe comfortably from the abdomen, in and out. In and out. And the purpose of the breath is not only to be calming, but actually to help with your posture. Because if you cannot breathe comfortably and you feel some part of your body is tight, that means something needs to be fixed. And this is a way for you to figure out whether your posture is correct. So this is important because it is your reference shape. So whenever you feel out of kilter anywhere in the form, come back to this shape and it will help you figure out what's going on. Okay? So we're not going to do this for very long, but let's do it for another couple of minutes so that I want you to feel this in your body so that this is the norm. Okay? Head up, shoulders down, elbows down, expanded feeling so that your back is rounded, your chest is reserved, You feel the energy from the tips of one hand, fingers of one hand, all the way around to the fingers of the other hand. I want you to relax your waist. Your hips are going down. Your spine is extended and your tailbone is down. If you can, bend your knees. If you do bend your knees, make sure that they stay pointed in the same direction as your toes. And as you do, it's easy to do this now as you're standing still. But when you move, it's easy to get out of joint, so to speak. Okay, so let's stop. Hands come down. All right, let's review what we have done thus far. Okay, since we have just done standing practice, it makes it easy for us to do prepare. Prepare is very much like standing practice. It uses the same body shape and it reminds you to relax. So with prepare, you have your feet shoulders width apart, your head is up, your shoulders are relaxed, and your tailbone is down. Your hands are by your side. Basically, your middle fingers touching the seams of your pants. Opening. Your hands come forward and turn so the palms are toward the back. They come up to the shoulders width, and then think about pointing your elbows down and float your hands from your upper arm to your elbows, to your wrist, till you're almost to the bottom. And your hands are still parallel to the floor. So if you look on the side, so if I start here, my hands come in front, come up to shoulders width, my elbows point down, and my hands sort of float down. And my hands end up almost at the bottom. That is pretty much parallel to the floor and in front of my hips. Can you see that? Okay. So last week's move was left ward off. And unfortunately, left ward off is one of the more difficult moves because it has exceptions to many of the rules of thumb. So let's review that. I'm going to do it in 4 directions so that you can see from every angle. And then I would like to review it facing you so that you can see the hands. But then we'll practice it a few times with my back toward you so that you can follow in the same direction. So my left will be my left, my right will be your right. Okay? So I'm going to do it facing you first, just so that you can see. So I'm starting here, feet shoulders width apart. My hands are almost at the bottom because I just finished doing opening. And I'm going to give you a 5 count so that you can coordinate upper and lower. Okay? So 1, shift weight slightly to the left. 2, turn your body and your right toe to the corner while separating your hands slightly. 3, put all your weight on the right. Your shoulders are square. Your hands one up and one down. 4, step and close. And 5, shift weight and open. And you end up with your gaze looking toward the side. So if we just look at your footwork first, footwork and body. Okay, if we look at the footwork and body, what we see is 1, shift slightly to the left, just to release the right foot so it can turn. 2, turn your right foot to the corner and your body goes with it. 3, all your weight goes on the right and your shoulders go toward the front, but your hips remain toward the corner. 4, step. And 5, shift your weight, heel, ball, toe, and turn so that your shoulders now rejoin your hips in terms of the direction. Okay, so let's just do the footwork alone one more time. I will do it this way so that you can follow along more easily. Okay, now that you know what you're doing. So you shift slightly to the left, you turn, all your weight goes on the right, step, heel, ball, toe, shift weight. So you're pushing off the back and pouring your weight toward the front, and you're ending up with 60% in the front and 40% in the back. Okay? So if we do it with the hands, what happens is you shift slightly toward the, so you're almost to the bottom. You shift slightly toward the left. You turn, sit, step and close, shift weight and turn. I'll do it from on either side so you can see it from the side as well. So if I'm almost at the bottom, I shift slightly to the left. I turn. All the weight goes on the right. Step and close. Push off the back into the front. Okay. So now, basically, my left hand swings toward the front, and my gaze follows that hand. So I'm going to do it the other way. So I'm almost at the bottom. I shift slightly to the left. I turn. Then my upper body shifts toward the front as my weight goes toward the right. Step and close. Push off the back into the front. Turn, and my gaze follows my left arm. Are there any questions on that? Rima, I got an answer to your question. On the gaze with the, so it turns out, just to review for the other people who weren't in class last time. So Rima's question was that if we're doing this, at the end, here, the gaze follows the left arm to the side. And her question is, why isn't it to the corner where the opponent is? And the answer is that it turns out that Yang family is unique in using this gaze pattern. So the Fu style has you looking at the corner. Chunmen Ching has you looking straight. So it has to do with emphasis. So what happens is that our style essentially emphasizes this ward off. And that's why your gaze follows the dominant hand in this case. So one of the things that's in some ways confusing for a lot of people is grasp the sparrow's tail has 5 moves, includes 5 moves. Left ward off, right ward off, roll back, press and push. And actually, left ward off is more than left ward off. So if I were to show you just left ward off, this is left ward off. Okay, but the move left ward off includes this because it's showing the essentially breaking your opponent's elbow. So you're pulling down as you're coming up. And ward off itself is just this. It does not have this pull, but the martial art application has the pull. Ward off is solely defensive. Ward off is defining your space. This is my space, and you are not to come into my space. And ward off is for that. So this would be ward off. And left ward off, because the opponent is on the side, we do this way. Today's move will be right ward off, and that will be in some ways more conventional. So in preparation, are there any questions about left ward off first? Everybody's clear on left ward off. Okay, I want to review Tai Chi stepping in preparation for doing right ward off. Okay, remember when I don't know if you can see. Okay, for left ward off, if I'm starting from shoulder width apart, I shift left, turn right, put all my weight on the right, and all I do is move my foot forward. And the reason is that my feet were originally shoulders width apart. Now, the next step, if I were to continue going forward, I would shift right, turn my left toe to the corner, and then because my feet are now wider than shoulders width apart, I step in and then out and go heel, ball, toe, bend knee. And the main reason is it's to help your balance. Okay, when your feet are too far apart, it helps for you to basically center up and then step out. Okay, so one of the things you have to be careful of when you center up is you do not stand up. So the 2 first moves, you did prepare, which isn't really a move, right? The first move is opening. And what does opening do for you? Opening sets the pace for the rest of the form. You are going to do the rest of the form at that pace. Left ward off sets the height. So when I'm at left ward off, what I do is I shift left, I turn right, and I sit. Once I sit, That is the height of the form. So there are exceptions. I mean, other than like a one-legged stance or a low stance, this is the height of your form. Then step and close, turn. Now, the reason that's important is that one of the characteristics of Yang family style is the moves are big, round, and slow. And you want everything to be even at the same pace. So our next move is going to be right ward off. And right ward off, let me show you in the same direction as you would be doing it, and then in 3 other directions. So if I were to start almost to the bottom, and I'm doing left ward off, I would shift left, turn right, sit, step and close, shift weight, and turn. Right ward off, I would shift right, turn my left foot to the corner, shift all my weight to the left, then step and close, and shift weight. So if I do this in this direction, it would look like this. I'm almost at the bottom. I shift to the left. I turn to the right. I put all my weight on the right. Step and close. Turn and shift weight. Then when I do right ward off, I shift to the right to release the left. I turn the left foot so it's parallel to the right. Then I shift all my weight to the left, one hand up, one hand down, and then step and close and shift weight. Okay, now I'm going to do it toward you. You're almost toward the bottom. You shift toward the left. You turn to the right corner. You sit. Step and close. Turn and shift weight. Then what right ward off would look like is you would shift right. Both feet would be parallel. Then all the weight goes on the left. And then you pull in and step. Step and close. And left ward off. Shift weight. Okay, so let's break it down. We'll do the footwork first, and then we'll do the hands, okay? So in terms of the footwork, it may be easier for you to see if I'm here. So at the end of left ward off, you have one foot to the corner and one foot to the straight. So you also are going to have a 5 count here. So you're going to move slightly to the left. I mean, you're here. You have 60 in the front and 40 in the back. So you move slightly to the right to release the left. And then you turn your left foot so that it's facing the corner. It's now parallel to the right. Then you shift all your weight to the left. Then you pull in and step out, and then heel, ball, toe, bend knee. Okay. Would you prefer I do it facing you? Can you see well enough? I'm just doing it in the same direction as you. Okay. So when you were almost at the bottom, what you did was you got into your left bow stance. We call this left bow stance because the left foot is forward. Now we're going to go into a right bow stance in that direction. So I'm going to shift back to release the left foot, turn the left foot parallel to the right, shift all the way to the left, pull in to stabilize and step out, heel, ball, toe, bend knee. Now, it's very important that you keep your knees lined up with your toes. So your front foot, the knee should be facing your toe, but not beyond your toe. You should be able to see the front of your shoe. Your back foot is also lined up with your toe. It is not like this. It is lined up with your toe. So basically, you need relatively flexible hips to keep your quad open. Okay, so let's do that a couple more times. So we'll do both left and right ward off, okay, in terms of the footwork. So you're starting here, feet shoulders width apart. 1, shift left. 2, everything turns to the corner. 3, all the weight goes on the right, but the upper body turns straight. 4, step. 5, push off the back, 60 in the front, 40% in the back. Right ward off. Release the left foot. 1, 2, turn it to the corner. 3, shift all the way to the left and turn to the side. 4, step. And 5, push off the back, 60% in the front, 40% in the back. Are there any questions
So
on the footwork? Yes?
On step 4, you're not actually touching down, right? You're moving your right foot
I
in.
am not touching down. What I am doing is I'm stacking. Think of it this way, okay? When I'm here, okay, I'm turning, okay? I shift all my weight to the left. When I come in, I'm basically stacking before I step out, okay? I'm making sure that my body is stable and then I step out. That make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. Any other questions? Okay, let's work on the hands. I'm going to do it facing you, and we're just going to do the hands. And it is sort of a mirror of the left. So what happened was that when you started, well, it's hard to do without the footwork, I have to admit. Okay, so let's see if we start this way. Okay, so I just finished left ward off. So what happens is as I shift right so that I can turn left, my hands do not change. Okay. Then as I shift all my weight to the left, I essentially have one up and one down as a mirror to the previous move. Okay. And what I'm actually doing is I'm pulling with the left and warding off with the right. Okay. So because I'm doing this pulling, this hand is beyond my shoulder. You can see that. Okay. Then when I do the step and close, essentially what I'm doing is I'm closing just like a mirror image of the other. Remember when we did the hand opening and closing? The bottom hand is under the elbow and the top hand is about opposite your shoulder. That's where you want to be. So as you're coming in, you pull in and step out. So step and close. Then as you separate your hands, you're shifting weight, push off the back. And you have ward off in the front. Now the ward off in the front is different because the person is in front of you. So what your hands look like is your hands are in front of you and this hand is slightly below and behind. Okay. And the ward off hand has the same hand shape. So it's not like this, it's slightly turned. And the reason is your contact point is here, it's not here. Okay, so you want your contact point to be showing, and that's why your palm is in this shape, slightly up. Okay. Also, the other part that's important is your alignment. So when I'm here and I come back, I have all my weight here. I step and close. When I come up, I have to make sure that my toe and my knee and my right elbow are lined up in a straight line. Okay, so take a look down and see if everything is lined up. Because sometimes people tend to have it too far one way or the other. So make sure the right elbow is lined up with the right knee and is in the same direction as the right toe. And also that your left knee is facing out to the corner. So if I do this toward you, one more time, at the end of left ward off, I'm here. I turn. I pull and ward off as my weight all goes on the left. Then I pull in, step and close. Shift forward and ward off. Now my right arm is slightly slanted. It's not like this. So it's about shoulder height. Okay, and this is behind it and slightly lower. And unlike left ward off, remember when I showed you left ward off, at the end of left ward off, I am straight up and down. At the end of right ward off, what's going to happen is it's going to look like this. Can you see that I'm slanted so that there's like a slant from the base of my neck to the heel of my foot? So I'm slanted. And generally speaking, whenever you have a bow stance, you're going to be slanted. There are only 3 places in the form where you will be vertical, and 2 of them happen in the first section. So the first one you just did, which was left ward off. So you will soon encounter the next one. So try to think about it this way. When you have 60% of your weight in the front and 40% of the weight in your back, think about pushing. Okay, so that's why you want this body shape, because you want that energy to come from your heel out your arm. Okay, so the most direct way for that to happen is to have this rather slanted body shape. Okay, so let's try that. Let's do both left and right ward off. Would you like it from some other direction? Vote. Yes, no. Do you want it with my back toward you? This way. Yes? Which way are you voting, Ray? Okay, this way. Okay. So your hands are almost to the bottom. 1, shift slightly left. 2, turn right to the corner, body and foot. 3, all the weight on the right, and the shoulders turn toward the front. Hands 1 up, 1 down. 4, step and close. 5, turn and shift weight. Right ward off. Shift right. 1, 2, turn your left foot to the corner and your body moves with it. 3, all your weight moves to the left as your hand goes 1 up, 1 down. 4, step and close. 5, push off the back, and the right comes up, the left goes down. Any questions? I think it just takes practice. Okay, and I'd like to do left and right together because I think that you get a better sense of how things are connected. Okay, so once again, hands almost to the bottom, feet shoulders width apart. Left ward off, shift left, turn right, all the weight on the right, step and close, turn and shift weight. Right ward off, shift right, turn left foot. 3, shift all the way to the left, pull with the left, ward off with the right. 4, pull in and out, step and close. Shift weight, and 1 hand up, 1 hand down. I'll do it from the other side, just so you can see the other side. Okay, so if we're here, I'm going to shift left, turn right. All the weight goes on the right. Step and close. Turn and open. Then right ward off. Shift right. Turn the left foot to the corner. 3, all the weight goes on the left. 4, pull in and step and close. 5, shift weight and separate. So remember, when you do your ward off, your front hand has to cover the front of your body. You are warding off. So make sure that you have this diagonal shape that covers the front of your body. So if I do it again from this direction, if I shift left, turn right, all the weight on the right, step and close, shift weight separate. Then for right ward off, I shift to the right, turn the left foot to the corner. Then all the weight goes to the left, one hand up, one hand down. Then come in and out. That's the step and close. Then shift weight. Okay. Questions? So one of the things that is hard is that you have to remember to keep your quad open. Okay. Watch your knees, basically. Okay, I'm going to turn around so that we can practice a few more times in the same direction as you. Okay. So from feet shoulders width apart, hands almost at the bottom. Left, ward off. Shift left. Turn right. All the weight on the right, facing the front. Step and close. Shift weight, turn. Right ward off. Shift right. Turn the left foot to the corner. Shift all the way to the left, one hand up, one hand down. Come in and out as you step and close. Then push off, shift weight, and separate. Okay, make sure is your right elbow over your right knee. Are your knees facing your toes? How does that feel? Okay. Let's do it a few more times. Just these 2 moves, and then we'll do it from the beginning. Okay. So almost at the bottom. Grasp a sparrow's tail, left ward off. Shift left, turn right. All the weight on the right. Step and close. Shift weight, turn and open. Right ward off. Shift right. Turn the left toe to the corner. All the weight on the left. Step and close. Push off. and separate. So your right arm is across your body, but your left hand is slightly below and behind. Okay, so let's try again. Almost at the bottom. Shift left, turn right, all the weight on the right as you turn facing front, step and close, push off, turn and separate. Right ward off, shift right, turn the left foot to the corner, all the weight on the left, step and close, shift weight and separate. Okay, so let's do it from the beginning. Your shoulders width apart, your head is up, your tailbone is down, your hands are by the seams of your pants. Prepare. Opening. Turn your hands so the palms are facing back. Come up to shoulder height. Turn your elbows down and float down. Upper arm, elbows, wrist, almost to the bottom. Grasp a sparrow's tail, left ward off. Shift left, turn right. All the weight on the right. Step and close. Shift weight and turn. Right ward off. Shift right. Turn left. All the weight on the left. Pull in, step and close. Shift weight and right ward off. Okay. Are there any questions?
Rita,
Yeah.
notice I start out by breathing somewhere as I'm trying to focus so hard, I forget to breathe. I follow your hands.
Okay. You're supposed to just breathe naturally. If you were actually doing an application, what you would do is you would breathe out when you are striking.
Okay.
But while we're doing in the form, we are more interested in having you do it evenly than to have you breathe out when you're striking. So that's the trade-off. Sometimes you can make it work so that you are breathing out as you're striking, but oftentimes it doesn't work that way, especially because not all the moves are the same length. So you don't want to have a quick breath and then a really long breath because you have a really long move. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
Okay. Ray, do you have a question? No? Okay.
I have sort of a half question, half comment.
Yes.
I find that your calling is, super precise, and that I can follow it as you're saying each thing, but it feels slowed down from the regular form. And the minute you stop saying every little thing, I get about half of it wrong. Like
Well, let me tell you why I do this.
I mean, it's
Okay.
fantastic that, I mean, I suddenly, it's like, oh my gosh, I actually turned my hand and I pulled, I usually forget to do that, but you're being like super detailed. I find myself wanting a transition from that to something, I don't know, like a teeny bit faster eventually.
Yes. So the reason I am so detailed is that I see this as a beginner's class. And so for a beginner, it's important to get the upper and lower coordinated. So I want your hands to be at a certain spot when your foot is at a certain spot. And that's why I'm talking so much. Ideally, you want to be doing things continuously without interruption. Okay. So in terms of the 10 essentials, beginning classes break all the rules, because beginning classes break everything down to parts. And you're supposed to keep your head up and everybody's looking at their feet, you know? So, so, so you see there's a contradiction there. But as we progress, what I want to be the pattern in the class is I like to do standing in the beginning because I think of that as the reference. And then I am going to do from the beginning to whatever move we are at. But then as we go on, I will have fewer and fewer prompts. Does that make sense?
No, it does. I'm excited to see how that's going to work.
So am I. But since, since you've taken the class before, you already know how to do everything. So
I really don't. And if you just tell me, like, call a move like they do in some of the classes, I get it sort of like about half right. But this is the first time you're calling every little thing. This is the first time I actually feel like I might be getting more or less each part of the move correctly.
well, that's what I hope you will do. I want you to get all the parts so that you can do the whole thing continuously. But what I am afraid of is that often beginners skip things because they just know, well, this comes next and I'll just put my hand there. And then they miss how you got there. So
I'm definitely doing a lot of that typically, but you stopped me today from doing that, so that's good.
okay, well, I'm glad, and I hope that this class will work for you. So next week we are not going to have class because it's Memorial Day, and then but Elaine says that he will be willing to have the review class at 5:30 on Tuesdays for anybody who wants to come. So he's going to be there. He's going to stay for like 5 minutes, and if nobody shows, he'll leave. then the week after that, I'm going to be out of town. So probably Nancy or Mike will sub for me. And, you know, they're better teachers than I, so
You're the best, Rita. You're the best.
I don't know about that. Well, you're the one who's taken more classes than anybody.
And I keep learning, and I just keep learning.
That's how I feel about classes. I keep learning. So thank you all for coming to class. Let's do it one more time and then we'll close class. Okay? So I'm turning around. We're going to start from the beginning. Prepare. Head up. Hands by your side. Sink down. Your tailbone is down. Opening. Turn your hands so they're facing back. Come up to shoulder level. Turn your elbows down and float your hands down almost to the bottom. Grasp the bird's tail, ward off left. Shift left. Turn right. All the weight is on the right. One hand up, one hand down. Step and close. Shift weight and turn. Right ward off. Shift right. Turn the left toe to the corner. All the weight goes to the left. One hand up, one hand down. Pull in, step and close. Shift weight and separate. Make sure your alignment's good. Elbows over your knee. Okay? Well, thank you very much for coming to class, and we will close class. 同学们再见. And your response is 老师再见.
Thank you, teacher.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank
Thank
you.
Good seeing you. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
I find it helpful that we count. You're the one teacher that numbers it.
Well, that's because I want you, everything, the top and the bottom have to come at the same time. That's the idea.
I found myself silently numbering. Thank you.
Well, also it helps because left and right are kind of symmetrical. So I want you to have the 5 count for each side. And that way you remember to get all the pieces.
All right.
Okay.
I think you're doing a fabulous job. Actually, I think all of the teachers are good, but this is a
Everybody teaches differently.
yeah, but that's great because I'm learning something a little different and solidifying. I love the way you're doing it, but I loved the others also.
I'm glad. That's great.
You're just doing a fantastic job.
Well, I will see you in a few weeks. Okay. Bye-bye.